Hello again, everybody. Zacatech is here, my WWE Raw review for tonight, Monday, August the 25th, 2014. Well, I think we can officially say the Night of Champions, the Road to Night of Champions, has officially begun tonight. The main event's been named for Night of Champions, a rematch involving John Cena and Brock Lesnar that was made over the last week. Overall, this Raw was an interesting one. Got some seeds planned for maybe some possible matches in the Champions. And it was a decent Raw because there was no Triple H or Stephanie tonight. But we did see some authority members in action tonight. Not all of them. I believe you didn't see Stephanie and Triple H hog the television screen all night. And show the WWE Network for $9.99. Well, that was Jerry, JBR, and Cole's job. I did like Jerry's reference to puppies. Puppies! Oh, they're good all day, especially if they had it to air next week on the network. Now I'm cheap plugging. Let's move on. Let's get to the start of Raw. Now, Flair's back, making appearances for WWE again. Same with Hogan and also Shawn Michaels every once in a while. They decided to open up Raw with a somewhat of a Hall of Fame panel, with these three guys discussing their thoughts and predictions on the aforementioned rematch between John Cena and Brock Lesnar. Now, this could be like the rubber match when it comes to their most recent rivalry. Cena beat Lesnar in Extreme Rules in 2012. That's the match that I think Hulk Hogan mentioned that match during the panel, saying that I saw the first fight in Chicago. That was Extreme Rules 2012. And of course, Cena lost at SummerSlam. Now, some would say everyone's expecting Cena to lose because he was supposed to make a movie. I know what they're trying to do. It's kind of apropos. You had Ric Flair in this. Count this. Cena is a 15-time world champion. The only reason why... Now it makes sense to me now. I hate to say this. As much as I hate Lesnar being champion, I've said this before, I'd rather have Cena as champion as Lesnar because he's a full-time guy. He's on the show every week. But the only negative to seeing John Cena champ again is that the only reason why, now it makes sense to me, like I said, the only reason why that I think he lost is so he can recapture the championship and tie Ric Flair as a 16-time world champion. That's what I'm thinking. Cena's going to win a Night of Champions so he can tie Ric Flair. Now, the storyline is saying that Cena's not ready for a rematch against Lesnar. He can get his ass beat again, especially with 16 German suplex in one of the most lopsided WWE title matches ever. And that is basically the understatement of the motherfucking century. Cena got destroyed at SummerSlam. It was more than lopsided. One-sided, lopsided. It was just a fucking beatdown. Then Cena came out doing this panel. Like Hogan was the only one that believed that Cena would have a chance at Night of Champions. And Cena's like, I had a lot to think about since losing to Lesnar. I felt I got my ass beat big time, but I get back up. This is the biggest rematch of my career. Wait a minute. I thought you rematch against The Rock. The twice in a lifetime match was your most important rematch. Because I remember when he got the rematch against The Rock at WrestleMania 29, he's like, this is the important match because I had to live a year of people saying, you didn't beat The Rock. A year of my life that I'll never get back because I wanted to beat The Rock so bad. And now I want redemption. I thought that was your biggest rematch, Cena. But that's WWE logic for you. That right now, as of this current moment, this is Cena's biggest rematch of his career. As of now, because of the beatdown he got from Lesnar at SummerSlam. That basically he's out to kill Brock Lesnar like he killed him. He's out to beat Brock Lesnar's ass. We didn't see Lesnar tonight live. He was killing it via satellite. Having a little interesting... I did like his promo tonight. I actually liked Brock Lesnar's promo tonight. Said, your daddy told you, Cena, you'd be a star one day. But you can come into a guy that knocks you down again and again and again. I actually like that promo. That's actually some of Brock's best mic work. Even though he was actually doing a promo via satellite. So, there you go. course, Cena would have a chance to redeem himself tonight and show that he's ready and wearing for Lesnar, as he would take on Bray Wyatt tonight in the main event. Kind of rehashing their feud. But it's kind of like weird to see Bray Wyatt once again feud with Cena. Well, it's only a one-time big thing. It's basically a test for Cena. That's what it is. Speaking of men who are trying to rebound after a loss and trying to get revenge against the guy who beat him, Swagger was hoping for some revenge as he would take on Rusev again tonight, following his loss at SummerSlam in the flag match. It was kind of like a carbon copy of SummerSlam almost. You know, Swagger, Rusev, I'll give Rusev credit. Yeah, actually, he's been looking good, better. He's been looking better lately. The crowd heat is on. The crowd tonight in LA, Anaheim, was mixed at times. Sometimes they were good, sometimes they sucked. Sometimes they were rowdy, most of the times they sat on their hams. That's what happens when an earthquake does that to you. Earlier yesterday. And a lot was happening in California. Big week for California. VMAs, Emmys, which I didn't know until tonight. That was opposing wall. And now Raw tonight in Anaheim. And Rusev just is a brute. Well, then Swagger brought the fight to him again like he did at the flag match. I like the various counters out of the Patriot Lock and all that, all the counters and stuff. But then, once again, for the second straight time, not only did Swagger lose, he lost against his own will. We saw at SummerSlam, he passed out from the accolade. But then Swagger got his ass beat so bad from Rusev that the referee stopped the match. It was a referee stoppage. So Rusev won again. And then Swagger lost again. And again, we would see Bo Dallas. I think they're starting a feud, apparently. And we would see that feud kind of starting a little bit later on in the evening doing Bo Dallas' match against Kofi Kingston. With Bo Dallas getting the victory over Mr. Kingston. Making everybody believe. I think Kofi needs to turn heel. At least one team's turning heel, which I love the heel turn, which I'll get to in a minute. But, as you also see from my subtitle. But, definitely, I think Swagger and Bo Dallas starting feud, especially after, like I said, Bo Dallas' match. Swagger came out and attacked him after the backstage prep talk, or attempt at a prep talk from Mr. Bo Dallas. So there you go. Rusev got the victory again against Mr. Swagger. Speaking of guys who have losing streaks, or in this guy's case, had a losing streak. Like I said last week, when you had good tag teams break up, there's always going to be those comparisons when they go solo. The one's going to be the Motor Jannetty, one's going to be the Shawn Michaels of the bunch. Now, I've been saying that Cesaro had been the Motor Jannetty because he's been losing a lot lately and gone down momentum-wise. But I think it's kind of weird now to see Swagger lose a lot and see Cesaro winning a lot. After ending his losing streak by beating Swagger last week, continuing Swagger's sliding downward spiral. Cesaro would get the biggest win recently as he would take on Rob Van Dam in a number one contenders match for the United States Championship that could also take place at Night of Champions. A lot of matches possible for Night of Champions. A lot of seeds planned for Night of Champions matches. Now, like already looked okay in the match, but Cesaro, he needs momentum back on his side. You know, I think Heyman was more of a misstep, like I've been saying the last couple of weeks. Looking back on it, I thought Heyman was going to be a good decision, but it ended up being a bad decision for Cesaro in the long run. He lost the swing. He lost momentum. He's still not doing the swing, but at least he's trying to get momentum back as he would easily defeat. It was already a decent little matchup against him with the big uppercuts and, of course, ending with the neutralizer. Seeing and eyeing the U.S. champion, Sheamus, I can easily think of him because people take a minute to see who the U.S. champion is. People take a minute and they're like, oh, Sheamus is the U.S. champion. It's just a forgettable title. And Cesaro has been U.S. champion before and has also challenged Sheamus for the title earlier this summer. But hopefully this time around, Cesaro will win, unlike the last time these guys faced off. And the heat's there with Cesaro grabbing the U.S. championship and then flipping it back in Sheamus' face like he did on SmackDown. So, they didn't announce when the match is going to take place, but I'm guessing, like I said, it's going to be Night of Champions because every title's supposed to be on the line. So there goes. It's all getting a future title shot against Sheamus after defeating Van Dam this evening. Speaking of possible title matches, or like John Cena and Brock Lesnar, a rematch of a rematch, Paige could have a renewal with AJ. As Paige was taking a tower tonight, trying to get the rebound following the loss of Natalya last week thanks to a little distraction from AJ. So this week, Paige was going on the rebound because Natalya looked really good again against the current Divas champion. And tonight, there was a clean finish. No interference from AJ. AJ wouldn't get involved until after the match, when Paige, despite numerous attempts by Natalya to make the Divas champ tap in the sharpshooter, she would indeed win a counter the Paige Stunner in a decent women's matchup in a 1-2-3 victory for Miss Paige, the Divas champion. I've always been a fan of Natalya. She's a decent wrestler. That's what she is, a wrestler. These two girls had a short but interesting match. But more interesting was what happened after the match. When AJ came out, it's like mind games galore with these two. Like AJ, the frenemies. Paige is like, I beat you up, AJ, but I still love you. And I think AJ is trying to play off that by saying that she loves Paige too. And Paige wasn't buying it. You can see Paige's look on her face when AJ not only hugged her, but kissed her hand as well. This is turning weirder and weirder by the week, these two. But it's an intense rivalry. It's a very interesting rivalry. I think this is kind of like nothing from what we were thinking about when we heard that AJ and Paige were going to have a real feud when AJ returned after Money in the Bank. So it's kind of turned interesting. In a hurry. Kind of like the Bellas feud, which I'll get to that in a minute. So there you go. Paige gets a victory over Natalya clean this time without any interference. But AJ's mind games continues with the hug and a kiss. I think there was a song in AJ's head when she was hugging and kissing Paige. I love you, you love me, we're one big family. What a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? I can't believe this fucking sang a Bonnie song on a wall review. Hey, I had to, because AJ hugged and kissed Paige. A beat on the hand, not on the lip, but still. I had to make that reference. Sorry. Make fun of me all you want. But hey, I was one of those kids. But at least I liked wrestling still when I was younger, when I was watching Bonnie. Like one minute I'm watching the big purple dinosaur, and the next minute I'm seeing Stone Cold stun the fuck out of Vince McMahon. See what I mean? Small world, small world. Anyway, after a little scenario, we had the segment that was the so-called eulogy of Dean Ambrose. Now, Dean Ambrose, as we all knew last week after SummerSlam, he's making a movie. So what did they do to write him out? Have him in a vicious Falls Count Anywhere match against Seth Rollins. The fans voted on it. The match, and I've said this, if you missed one review last week, I said it, that if they had this Falls Count Anywhere match at SummerSlam and not the Lumberjack match, this would have torn the fucking roof off. Especially the way they ended it with the stomp, the curb stomp under the cinder blocks. It was a badass finish and a great way to write off Ambrose for a while. They had the so-called food roll. Storyline-wise, Seth Rollins is probably so happy to get rid of Dean Ambrose because he can finally focus on attempting to cash in on the World Heavyweight Championship, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I've always said, if you've been watching my World reviews regularly, I've been saying about how I don't want Seth Rollins to cash on Cena. Because I saw what happened with another guy who's now Mrs. Stunt Double, as we would see later on tonight. But now that Lesnar's champion, I don't want Seth Rollins to cash on anybody. Unless it's someone else but Cena or Lesnar. Because it's lose. So maybe holding that for a while. Maybe a long while. Hopefully not. Hopefully he won't be the first guy to not cash in within the year limit. Because I don't want that to happen. But another guy who could be on the rise to a championship, Wayne, Roman Reigns. Now, this is actually interesting. That we've seen the Rollins Ambrose feud for a while. Now that's over for a while since Ambrose is out making a movie. He needs to be another guy to feud against Rollins. The only guy from the former Shield he hasn't feuded with yet, Roman Reigns. He's done with Orton, so now he needs to do something to continue to climb up the championship ladder. What better way to... This feud starting between Rollins and Reigns serves three purposes. One, makes Roman Reigns a more beatable contender. If he would beat Seth Rollins in a one-on-one match, he would beat Mr. Money in the Bank in a match. Then he should be the next guy in line instead of the guy holding the briefcase. Two, it also gives us the chance to see another former Shield member feud against Seth Rollins. And another purpose of this feud, to continue Reigns' feud with the Authority. You know, he had his feud with Orton. We're hopefully going to see that Reigns Triple H rivalry, but I don't think that's ever going to happen anytime soon. But like I said, seeds are planted for the Rollins Reigns feud when Reigns interrupted his proceedings and started beating the crap out of both Rollins and Kane, destroying the podium, even tearing the podium and throwing it at Seth Rollins, which would set up a handicap match for later on in the evening. After Reigns destroyed the food. So, there you go. Now on to a tag team title match, which could, like I said, be a seed for a future match in the champions. We had the Usos taking on the Goldust brothers. Now they got their title shot tonight after beating the Usos in a non-title match. I was very surprised to see them get the win, and I think they're beginning over. You know, the fans are reacting to Cody Rhodes' transformation from regular old Cody to Stardust. You know. But I think what happened after the match was very interesting. But this match was actually a very interesting tag team match with the Goldust brothers really dominating. You know, I think they found their ways again. You know, when they were regular Cody Rhodes and Goldust, they were a good tag team already. But now, add the uniqueness of Cody Rhodes now embracing the Stardust characters, adding more intrigue, especially with their heel turn. Anyway, they were looking good against the Usos. The Usos came, and I do mean literally, flying back to Flying Uso attack. But it was a Flying Uso attack that caused the finish of the match. As Star Goldust was trying to regroup, one of the Usos flew up in the air. Jay, that is. And he stumbled on the jump and fell and tweaked his ankle, tweaked his leg. Cody got back in the ring, Stardust got back in the ring, but Jay couldn't beat the count as he was still hobbling outside the ring, causing Stardust and Goldust to win the match by a countout. But then Gold and Stardust looked like they wanted a fair rematch then and there. Like, no way we're going to win it by a countout. Since you intentionally got yourselves counted out. And then, the sneak attack. Cody Rhodes / Stardust and Goldust snuck attacked on Usos, including targeting the now injured leg of Jay. Storyline or not, it's going to add more, and I think a rematch is going to happen in Night of Champions because of the countout. And Goldust and Stardust turning heel, good decision. It is best for business, if I were to use that term tonight. Because I think they were okay as faces, but to see Goldust and Stardust as heels again, in any form, whether it's these characters or their own names, it would be great to see them as heels again. Cody Rhodes, without the monotonous voice, was a great heel when he was not precious Cody Rhodes, not flawless. Oh, dashing Cody Rhodes. That was a great heel gimmick for Cody when he was dashing Cody Rhodes. This is probably his best gimmick since then, the Stardust gimmick. Since dashing Cody Rhodes does. But he was a great heel then, when he got rid of the monotonous speaking voice. He had like a monotonous speaking voice when he was that Cody Rhodes dashing character. And Goldust, when he first came in, he was a vicious heel. And now that they're both heels again, I think could really revitalize, finally wake up the tag team division. With now a great heel team to finally challenge the Usos. Since they're not bringing in the Ascension yet, they need to make a team heel. And what better team to turn heel than the Dust Brothers, Cody Rhodes and Goldust, who haven't been heels in any way, shape, or form in a while, in any character form. So we're beginning to see how this feud develops. And I smell a rematch at Night of Champions. Especially since Star Goldust not only get a non-title victory against the Usos, but also a count-out victory over the Usos. This could really heat up the feud more. Now that they're heels, it's going to be heating up more. So, there you go. It's going to be intriguing because, like I said, both these guys are kind of fan favorites. Have been kind of fan favorites. So, we kind of interested to see who sides with who. But what fans are going to side with the Usos and what fans are going to side with the Dust Brothers, despite the heel. Now, on to our next matchup. It was supposed to be Dolph Ziggler against Miz. Speaking of rematches and count-out victories, Miz got a count-out victory over Dolph Ziggler last week after Dolph Ziggler defeated him at SummerSlam for the IC Championship. Now, Miz decided, since he's the Hollywood ego, he was going to have a stunt double. Damien Mizdow. Really? 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 I thought that Sandow was low already. I thought seeing him as an astronaut, as a lumberjack, as was low. Seeing Damien Sandow as Miz, that's lower than low. That's embarrassing. When you see Damien Sandow dress up like somebody, he should be higher up on the card then. Miz is mid-card, not Damien Sandow. I'm sorry. You know, I've been ranting about Sandow for months, about the way his character's gone down here. And I think this is his lowest point. Sandow dressing up like Miz. A guy who should be a jobber. A guy who should be on the mid-card. Not Sandow. Stuck where he is now. And it was more ridiculous seeing Sandow look more ridiculous than Miz did in that Celine Dion backwards white suit. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Weird references tonight. I'm on fire. Woo! Light me up, baby. Light me up. So, we would see Damien Mizdow. He didn't look, I'll give Sandow credit. He looked okay, but weird wear in those Miz tights. It was weird to see him in those tights. But, of course, Ziggy got the quick victory over Damien Mizdow. Despite Mizdow okay looking good, but Dolph Ziggler still fighting off the ankle injury that was kind of hampered by Miz, that caused the countout last week after being put in the figure 4 by Miz. He did got the zigzag and the victory. And an eye at Miz. He almost got the Miz's Moneymaker. Another rematch at Night of Champions. So, a lot of matches, a lot of seats planned for matches, and in some cases, rematches at Night of Champions. Speaking of interesting feuds, with the Bella feud. Now, we haven't seen a real-life sibling rivalry feud since Matt and Jeff Hardy 5 years ago. Makes it ironic that airing Jeff's documentary on the network, the first non-WWE contracted special to air, when he's currently in TNA, of course. But that's another topic for another day. Anyway, of course, we saw Nikki turn on Brie at SummerSlam. We saw Nikki slap Brie again on Raw last week. Now, there was some attempt at a reconciliation tonight. And I hate to say this, I think Nikki's better actress than Brie. Nikki is really embellishing this heel turn. She's really going for the jugular. Her quotes were like, wow. Especially the quotes, I wish you were never born. It's like, wow. For a TV PG show to say something like that? Wow. They're trying to be edgy again. You know? They know the boundaries, they know the limits, but at least they're trying to be edgy still. You know? At least they're trying to kind of recapture the edge here, but not going full-on attitudinal. So then after Nikki had I actually liked Nikki's promo tonight. But then she pushed Brie off they had like 2 chairs set up, and then Nikki pushed Brie off the chair and started beating her down. Look at Brie's face when she was trying to act like she was crying. God, I think we all know that Brie's been a bad actress for a long time. We see these skits with Brie Bella in it, and we notice the bad acting job immediately. Remember the segment with her and Daniel Bryan trying to run away from Kane? That scream was as fake as Kim Kardashian's tits. Anywho, like you see Brie's face, like she wasn't even fucking trying to look like she was crying. She's like she wasn't even fucking trying. Seriously, that was bad. But I'll give Nikki credit. She's really embellishing, like I said, she's really embellishing this feud. So, like I said, but this feud's going to heat up. But like I said last week, that it's going to take Brie some convention to finally retaliate. Because she hasn't really retaliated against Nikki yet. You know? But we'll see Brie finally come up to the conclusion that she has to get physical with her own flesh and blood. So there you go with that. Like some say Nikki and like the Bella Twins are bad actresses. But I think Brie's worse than Nikki. Like at least Nikki's trying. With that promo, it was actually a decent promo tonight. And the physicality was interesting too, but then seeing Brie Bella act like she was crying, that was like really bad acting right there. Even I noticed that. And so did the rest of the fucking world. Anyway, on to our next matchup, the handicap match involving Kane and Seth Rollins taking on Roman Reigns. Now, Kane started off first, but then Roman Reigns pushed in Seth Rollins to get a piece of Rollins until the numbers game catched up to Reigns, and it kind of did catch up to him through the majority of the matchup. But after Seth Rollins was taken out of the picture momentarily, it gave Roman Reigns enough time to focus on Kane. Then with a big running knee against the middle rope. I like that move that Reigns does. And of course, setting up the big Superman punch. But after being countered, or trying to be encountered by a chokeslam, Reigns would turn it into a spear. But right before Reigns would get the victory in this okay little handicap match, Seth Rollins would come in with the Money in the Bank briefcase, causing a disqualification, and the beatdown would begin. But then as the beatdown would continue, Kane did what he did last week. Brought out the big chunk of cinder blocks again. And was trying to do a replay of what they did to Ambrose last week, stomping Reigns on the cinder blocks. But the plan backfired, as Reigns would indeed attack both Kane and Rollins before being stomped, delivering spears and Superman punches galore to both Rollins and Kane. Now this feud is interesting build with Rollins and Reigns. Like I said, some three purposes. Gives Reigns an opportunity to try to be in the more title picture, taking on the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. Seen another feud between two former Shield members, the only Shield member that hasn't feuded with Rollins yet. And 3, it continues Reigns' feud against the Authority. So there you go. And Reigns is getting a lot of pop now. Like I said, I've been seeing his push coming since Survivor Series, and then finally when the Shield broken up back in June. So I think Reigns is going to break out stall for sure. And this is proof of it right here. Now on to our next little scenario. We had Los Matadores back as a tag team since Diego, was injured for a while. So now we see Los Matadores team up for the first time in months on Raw. They took on Slater Gator, or as I like to call him, the Odd Couple. Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil, nicknamed Gator. Now, I actually liked these two guys in the tag team. They have a unique chemistry. It's like they're not supposed to be a tag team, but it's like even though they don't click well, they actually took control though. But I like their chemistry of being Odd Couple, being like, you know, tagging each other, slap tagging each other, and like Slater trying to do the oh. That was kind of funny. They're a comedy tag team. You know, they're like the next Santino tag team. You know, they're a comedy tag team. Unintentionally funny. That's what I call them. Unintentionally funny. Because of their, you know, blind tagging in and out. And unfortunately, their problems. Their problems and their lack of chemistry when it comes to storyline-wise and not clicking as a tag team would cost them the victory, as Los Matadores would get the victory in a decent little tag team affair. Like I said, it's unintentionally funny with the Slater Gator. They're actually a unique pairing. I'll say that much, especially with the way they've been acting. So there you go. Now, I mentioned earlier that we would see Bo Dallas take on Kofi Kingston, with Jack Swagger getting involved after the match. I need to mention this. Bo Dallas did get the victory, but was I not the only one who noticed that Bo Dallas botched the Bulldog, the winning Bulldog? He botched it a little. He did nail it, but he fell off the rope. Like, he came off the rope and he tripped. We've never seen Bo Dallas botch the Bulldog before, but he botched it tonight. And after that, like I said, Swagger came out and beat him up. I think these two are starting a feud. We saw it last week when both guys came out after Swagger lost to Cesaro last week. We saw them confront each other again backstage after Swagger lost to Rusev again. And now we saw Swagger get involved in Bo Dallas' match. Now, on to our main event. John Cena taking on Bray Wyatt. Now, on paper, I was like, not again. Bray Wyatt goes from finally ending his feud with Jericho and trying to get momentum back on track. And I thought, wait a minute. They're going to have him lose momentum again by losing to Cena again? What the exactly? And love or hate Cena all you want. I think losing to Lesnar as giving Cena a mean streak. And you saw that when he took on Bray Wyatt tonight. He was like, no happy-go-lucky Cena. You see a look on his face. He was delivering suplexes left and right. He almost got himself disqualified a few times, but not breaking the referee's count. I thought he was going to knock out the referee. That's how mean Cena was tonight. He was just vicious tonight. You know, we love or hate Cena all you want, but I think he's got a mean streak. Finally getting a fucking mean streak. And it was just on top of Bray Wyatt. And just beating him up. Not like Super Cena, but just like a vicious Cena. Because Bray thought he was going to have his way with Cena, being all vulnerable after losing to Lesnar. But Cena proved that never give up is not just an advertising slogan. It's not just a catchy phrase to put on a t-shirt. It is his motto, besides hustle, loyalty, and respect. But as Cena was getting the job done on Bray Wyatt, and got the SCFU on him, here comes Harper Warren to make the sneak attack on Cena, causing a DQ. But then here comes Mark Henry and Big Show, who had a great match against Harper Warren last week. Actually, Harper Warren, I said on my Raw review last week during that match, Harper Warren held their own against Big Show and Mark Henry. I actually liked that match. It was actually interesting. And see Harper Warren do so well with them. And they'll get another opportunity to face off after we have an impromptu 6-man tag with Cena teaming with Mark Henry and Big Show against the Harper Warren and Bray Wyatt. Now, it was cool to see the Wyatt family, all three of them, team up together again. Because you haven't seen these guys team up together as often anymore. Because you see Harper and Warren on their own path. After, you know, the feud with the Usos for the tag team titles, Bray didn't accompany them. So they've been separate. You know, they've been separate doing their own things. But now they're together again. So it's kind of cool seeing all three together again and really dominating. And it looked good against Mark Henry, Big Show, and Cena. Especially seeing Warren Harper body slamming the big guys around, especially one of them slamming sexual chocolate. I mean, Mark Henry. Now it's good to hear that chant again. It's been a while since someone's chanted sexual chocolate. I'd rather hear that than CM Punk chanting today. Sorry, I love Punk, but he ain't coming back. I've come up to that conclusion. But every time AJ comes out, it brings out those CM Punk chants. I think she knows it. She goes with it anyway. Anyway, as the Wyatts looked really good against the face team, like I said, they really looked dangerous again. Finally, you know. But I was pissed they cut Bray Wyatt's entrance. Like they did, like the, but they didn't have the doom 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 doom. They cut the fucking entrance. They just faded off, and Bray was already ring. Fuck the music. That was stupid. but then of course the hot tag to Cena changed all that, looking vicious yet again. Harper came in, tried to dominate over Cena. Then Harper was put in the STFU in the tap out. At least Bray Wyatt didn't lose. But his team lost. And of course, Cena, once again, showing that he's got a mean streak, F-U'd everybody. Besides referee. Because Cena's trying to step the boundaries between, like he's trying to be both sides of the fence. Like, be a vicious guy, be a mean guy, and be aggressive, and be focused to beat up on Lesnar. But still be the kid-friendly guy that kids admire. This is one reason why Cena will never turn heel. Because, especially seeing after the match, after Cena had his mean streak moment, his viciousness moment, his ruthless aggression moment. You saw him hug a fan after the matchup. This is why you will never see Cena turn heel. Because WWE's got so many budget cuts. Can you imagine the money they'll lose if Cena turns heel? The kids won't buy the merchandise of who would be, if he was to turn heel, was the #1 babyface. So there you go. Cena, Lesnar rematch is on, and Cena's got a mean streak going on. Now, would I be mad if John Cena does beat Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions, and times Ric Flair as 16-time world champion. That's what I think is gonna happen. You know, like now I had an epiphany tonight. Like I really thought about it for a second. I was like, I thought the reason why Cena lost is because he was gonna make movies, but no. The reason why I think Cena lost is so he can win back the championship and be a 16-time world champion and tie Ric Flair, and have a chance to possibly lose it again and become a 17-time world champion. I would be really interested to see the fan reaction to Cena having more title reigns than Ric Flair. That would be kind of a travesty to many people. I think one of my friends said that if Cena does beat Ric Flair's title record, they would not watch Raw anymore. But we'll see if that ever happens. It would be kind of weird to say 17-time world champion John Cena. But that's where they may be headed. But we'll see. Depends on what's on Night Champions. If Cena comes in with the ruthless aggression he had tonight against the Wyatts, he could win. But if he gets his ass beat again, Lesnar will retain. We'll see what Lesnar and what Cena enters at Night Champions. But it's an interesting one tonight heading towards that, as we're 4 weeks away now from Night Champions. We'll see how the road heats up with the Cena Lesnar match official, possible Usos against the Dust Brothers for the tag titles, possible Paige and AJ, possible Dolph Ziggler and Miz, definitely possibly Cesaro and Sheamus for the US title, and maybe some non-title matches as well, like maybe Reigns and Rollins and the Bellas against each other. We'll see how this goes on. And we'll see who Orton feuds with next. Maybe a feud again with Jericho, because there's supposed to be a highlight reel next week with Orton and Jericho. Because Jericho needs a new feud now. Both guys need new feuds. So they could feud against each other again. We'll see what happens in the highlight reel next week. Till then, thank you all very much for watching. With that in mind, you've all been attacked by a review from Zach. Thanks again for watching. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Bye-bye. Yeah.